Now we're ready to go. Welcome in. My name is Rhonda Liebig. I'm a vitality coach for speakers and for you, of course, the people that are out there. I'm the host for you today. We are going to be talking about hello, self. Welcome in and get to know you. Today, we're going to be playing with things that you may be thinking about. Might be stuff that's like you're on the cusp and you feel like you're ready to just like step off and do this flying that maybe before you felt scared, you felt like it was too much of a quantum leap, but you said, I'm all in. And if you're not saying it yet, notice how you feel when you walk in. Notice how you feel as you're ready to exit. Because I want to fuel that space where you feel like you can quantum leap. You feel that you got this, whatever that is. In an hour and a half, 2 hours, I'm going to share with you a story about my friend who just passed on from cancer. And I want to connect it with you and you getting out there. So I'm going to be doing that in a couple hours. So make sure that you're there for that. What else? Okay, so I started my morning this morning, as I always do. And let me share this story with you because I want you to think about, how do you start your morning? How do you get connected with what is important to you? What is that thing that you need to get you not heavy and full in your body, but you feel light? You feel like you can dance. You know, like that. And then you feel flowy in your shirt and you're just going, yes, 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 yes. How do you get there though? Because if you don't get there, then you feel foolish doing that stuff. But if you get there where you feel light, your heart keeps opening up and your brain doesn't say, you're silly. Your heart says, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. I can remember doing this when I was younger. And that is where life is. You have all the experience of your whole world, of all the years you've been here. So that's the maturity part. But what about your emotional IQ? What about that? What about the mindset transformation entertainment that you need for you every day? So that you can be the kid that you know, that you were dreaming. You were saying, this is what I want. This is what I yearn for. If I can't do this, I will die. I need to do this so much, because you can feel it in your heart and you feel like the ache and pain in your body if you don't do it. That is where the quantum leaps are. That's what the Fresh Inspiration show is about. That's why we have stars of the show to be able to say, hey, I got myself prepared for you. What do you want to do? Let me share stories. Let me share things that have happened in my life. Let me share perspectives, because I've been out there and these are the challenges. Let me share the tools that I do with my clients, or every time I go out and talk. These are the stars of the show that show up. They're there for you. Today, if you can, you're going to be with us for 4 hours. If you can, because you're going to notice that the cadence gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And there's like this big drum roll that just starts happening. And it's taken me years to really hold the space for that. But that's my vision every single time we come together. Now, to get here and to be able to just say that to you, when I woke up, I probably could have said that to you if I just rolled out of bed and I just got to my office and I just decided to talk like that, like, okay, I'm going to try and motivate you. It would be a little bit lower frequency. So what did I do in my morning to get me to where I feel light? I feel like dancing. I feel like playing the guitar, which, by the way, if I'm not on with you guys, I very seldom walk around in my kitchen playing the guitar. So this is like special stuff for you. So just enjoy the entertainment right now. I woke up this morning. My alarm went off about 4:30. Sometimes I get up even at 4 o'clock and I start reading. My latest books that I have been reading are Grow a New Body, because I'm always into this whole thing about like, how can we up level our health? And so I'll be reading. Gosh, I know my video is moving slow today. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully the vocals are okay. And then I get into my journal, and this peak journal reminds me of my womanesque and what makes me happy. And pink to me is real special because I didn't wear pink until I had my girl. And I go, here, wait, I'm a woman. And I start calling it out because pink to me meant woman. And you'll see I have other colors around me, which I think are so powerful because I think colors really speak to us. So I do that in the morning. This morning, I walked outside onto the Fresh Inspiration Ranch, onto the grounds, and I looked up at the sky, and at that time, the sun was already starting to come up, and I could see purple and blues and pinks, and the sun hasn't really touched the earth over here, but it's starting to lighten up. And I look up and I can see some stars, and I hold my heart. I was holding my heart today, and I said, "Oh, this is beautiful. Today is a beautiful day." And I could hear the birds, and my hubby and I have been talking about, we've been hearing different bird sounds. Because here on the ranch, we have a lot of birds, and then they'll, have babies, and we get to watch that whole process. So I hear the birds, and then I start walking around, and it's like an oval kind of a walk. And each time I walk, I start scrubbing things back here in the back of like any kind of naysaying things that are coming up because I automatically clear it because I'm with Mother Earth. And I sit there. Well, actually, I stand, but I say sit. I'm sitting there and I'm just like looking up at the sky and I go, yeah, it's going to be a beautiful day. And there's something in my brain saying, well, your friend just passed away a few days ago. I'm like, how can you be okay? That naysaying stuff. I'm like, I'm choosing, I'm choosing joy because these big things happen. Anybody for you? Is there big things happening for you that you feel sometimes too overwhelmed that it takes over? That was my day yesterday. I froze and actually appreciated it. So I looked up at the sky and I did my walk. Then I went back in. I used the yellow door, which goes into the Fresh Inspiration Ranch meditation room. And I sat there and I was breathing in the orange and the yellow walls because it reminds me of the sun. And then I knew I was ready for the show. And I went and I talked to my two dogs because they're my spirit guides, by the way. If you have any animals, oh my gosh, please go to your animals. So Oliver and Robert, I said, hey, do you want to have some vegetables? Because that's their lingo. They're like, I love you. And so we do some celery and different things. And then I was getting ready for you. So that was my morning. Write in your journal anything that really serves you in what is happening for you. What's your morning routine? When you come in, check in. Make sure you keep checking in because I want to hear your vocals as we're going live in the show, and I'll make sure I invite new people in that are coming in. I'll welcome you in. I'm going to give you a list of what we're doing here today so you know who everybody is that's coming in, and you'll be able to get an opportunity to see them as we are going along here. So let's see here. Let me get my sheet. So make sure you're writing in your journal, getting yourself ready for what you want. Ask yourself questions. The questions would be like, what do I want from out of today? So let me share with you who is here. So this morning, hello self, awaken the truth. We're in our opening ceremony. This is where you get to be with Jill Flowers. Also, as you know, I've already introduced myself as your host. Jill Flowers is coming in a moment, and she is talking about the bowl, the breath, and the beats. And Jill is known as a disruptor of normalizing of toxic limiting lifestyle. and she believes that the healing is revolutionary. She has a very deep soul into this, and so I invited Jill in. Noreen Howard is part of this hour also, and she's coming in also as a special guest for about 15 minutes. And she's going to connect the dots with you and the about the ambitious, passionate person that you are. Think about this, the Fresh Inspiration Show. Think about what you are asking for. And she's going to share with you the pulse of what is needed globally as an influencer and game changer, sharing her knowledge as an executive leader. And then I'm going to finalize the full hour with you. And then after that, we're going to have Lorenzo Payman, and he's going to be speaking about easy organic reach with the Heart Center. And he has a podcast, Leaders with the Heart. Then at 10 o'clock, Rhonda Lumoxie, thank you, that is me. That's my speaker energetic name. And we're going to be talking about heart vitality to awaken your truth. I'll share that with you. And I started doing a little bit of that in the beginning of the opening ceremony. And then we're going to be doing the heart math, and it's Roar with the heart math, which is going to be Michelle Nagel. And at that time, after 11, these are Pacific times, so that would be 11, 12, 1, 2 o'clock if you're talking Eastern time. And then after that, we'll have a half an hour of closing ceremony, making sure that we kind of gather everything together for you and make sure we're speaking to what is happening, what's been happening for during the show. Jill, can you hear us now? Yeah, Jill is getting ready. Oh, thank you, Jill. Ah, okay. Oh, Noreen, yeah, thank you. Noreen was just posting, just lovely to meet everyone. Oh my gosh. So we have postings here. I'm also in our community, the Fresh Inspiration Show, and I'm looking at anything that you're posting. And then also we have Be Connected where we're live. Okay, so Jill, today I want to give you the space to be sharing with your I don't know what you're leading with here, and I know that you've been creating that, but I called it the bowl, the breath, and the beats because that was at one point what you were saying. But I'm here for you, my friend. Anything I can do as you're transitioning in, and this is your space, my friend.
Good morning. It's still morning. It's still morning. It's still morning. I'm on the East Coast. Good morning. And thank you so much, Rhonda. Hello, 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 hello to everyone. Hello, Noreen. Hello, Lorenzo.
Hello.
Um, Thank you for allowing me to come into the space. This is my third or fourth time, I think, in
Yes, my
at the
friend.
Fresh Inspiration Show. So it's really great to be here. I really loved the title when you gave me. It's more than a title. It's more than a title, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. But it really resonated with me. Hello, self. And so I want to speak to hello self and the awakening your truth part because it's actually, to me, it feels like the greeting and then a directive, and how the greeting must come before the directive, the intimacy, the welcoming to the self, the moving into the heart is the greeting. And once we get there, what's the directive? It is to awaken the truth. What is the directive? It is to set an intention. And so I am Jill Flowers. And that's my stage name too, and my real name. And I call myself a soul activist, which has taken on different meanings. And today it really means to me to be an activator. to be the activator of truth, to be the activator of one's soul blueprint, one's soul codes. And I use my voice. I use my bowls, which I have, you can't see them, but they're here like this, waiting. Um, and I use the breath to begin to activate what your intention is. So we're going to move into doing some experiential um, stuff. And I'm just going to ask for you to just not just follow along, but take agency. We'll do some breath work, but if you want to breathe normally, breathe normally. If you're feeling like you want to do a breath hold in a space, do the breath hold. If you're feeling like, I just need to take a deep breath here, that is what your body needs. That is what your body needs. So we're going to use the breath, we're going to use some sound, and we're going to use a little music and some moments of being quiet, some moments of just pausing, some moments of coming into the heart. So I'm going to ask that you just put everything off of your lap and get really comfortable. And you don't have to close your eyes just yet. But again, if you feel like closing your eyes, close your eyes. If you feel like keeping your eyes open and do an open eye meditation, this is yours. Like Rhonda said in the very beginning, I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this as a conduit that you can take pieces and use what works for you, and anything else that does not work, that does not serve, then it just simply means it's not yours. And maybe you just want to observe. So I'm going to ask that you just put one hand on your heart in the center of your chest, wherever that may lie, and one hand around your belly. And I'm going to ask that you just gently do a little circle. Just feel into what feels right. Where do you really want to land? And take a few deep breaths, long and deep, letting your body know you are thriving. Our short breaths, those panting breaths, that's the message of survival. The body thinks, we're in survival. These long, deep breaths let the body know you are moving into a thriving space. And whenever you are ready, on whichever exhale works for you, go ahead and close your eyes. And another nice, long, deep breath, bringing that breath from the bottom of your feet all the way through the legs, past the knees, past the thighs, up the torso, and just let out a And another good, long, deep breath with some sound healing for your soul. And as you move into allowing your breath to just take its normal pace, eyes closed, feeling into your heart, feeling into your belly, I want you to just focus on the rising and the falling of the belly. Perhaps you can actually feel your heart beating, and you can move your heart if you want to, move your hand if you want to feel the heartbeat. Focusing in on the rise and the fall of your chest. The rise and the fall of the belly, the in and the out of the exhale. The breath is in the body. The spirit is in the breath is in the body holds the breath. This is what it's like to be alive. This is what it's like to move energy. The in and the out. The out and the in. This is what it's like to be alive. And just allow the sound to bring you into balance. Hello, self. Hello, life. Who are you in the space of self, in the space of life? Taking in a deep breath, I'm going to ask you to listen to the sound of my voice, setting an intention. Hello, self. Hello, life. What is the truth that needs to be awakened in you? What is your most authentic self that you could be right now? Hello, self. Hello, life. Deep breath. And on the exhale, imagine, visualize moving into your heart space, bringing your awareness from the top of your head, moving down, coming down the eyelids, coming down from the forehead, past the nose, past the mouth, and just begin to move into the heart space. Breathing in and out, in and out, into the heart. Imagine, visualize the breath is moving into the heart. Hello, self. Hello, life. What is yearning in your heart space to be awakened? What is the intention of the heart right now? What is wanting to be realized in you? Imagine, visualize, bring to your mind, who would you be if you were acting, speaking, doing in your most authentic self, your most authentic life? Step into that space right now. What do you need to release? How do you need to give way to the most authentic, truest you? What would you be doing? What would you be saying? It's here in the heart space. Allow the heart to speak. Awakening to your truth. Imagine, visualize. You are stepping into your most authentic self. And I'm going to ask you to just put her on. Put him on. Put on your most authentic self. Your new ways of being. Your new ways of thinking. That which serves you most, that which serves your highest good. And just begin to breathe with me. It is a 2-part breath. I'm going to ask you to breathe in as if the mouth were the nose, opening the mouth, comfortable and wide, and breathe in through the mouth twice and release through the mouth. You can breathe with the music. In, out. In, out. In, out. In, out. We're bringing in twice as much oxygen. What do you want to call in as you awaken to your truth? Do you need twice as much peace? Do you need twice as much love? Do you need twice as much joy? And on the release, let go of the stress. Double love will move more stress out. Double the peace will allow all the chaos to go out. What can you release that is keeping you from awakening to your truth? Release it in the exhale. Listening to the sound of my voice. Releasing grief. Releasing grief in the exhale. Release with an ah. Release. Bring in twice as much happiness. Twice as much laughter. And go ahead and just breathe, bringing your breath to its normal pace. Just breathe. And if you have your hand on your heart, you can just move into whatever feels most comfortable. The in and the out. The exhale and the inhale. Deep breath. And on this deep breath, I'm going to ask you to hold your breath in 3, 2, 1. Deep breath. Go ahead and hold the breath. 3, 2, 1. Holding the breath. Holding the breath. And when you are ready, release with a sound, a nice ah. And just sway and breathe. Hello, self. Hello, life. Closing your eyes, focusing in. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Make a noise. Ooh. Ah. Don't worry if you're on note or you're on key. If you're a singer, just release. Release the sound. There might be a sound that was trying to come up from your belly. Release the sound. Yeah, 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 Say yes. Yes to your most authentic self. Everything that you say yes to, do you know that there is a no happening? There is a no that is happening at the same time. Every time you say yes to your most authentic self, there is a no that is keeping back anything that does not serve you. Yeah, 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 yeah. Move and breathe. Let go a nice ah. See, this is sound healing for your own body. You want to hum? Bring in a hum. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Thank you, Jill. Thank you. I feel it. I feel that vibration. Oh my gosh.
Deep breath.
I felt that as soon as you played that one note, just like starting off with the bowl, I just I stood up taller. It was like, sing. Thank you so much.
I am so honored and so just humbled to be able to serve in this way. And I really hope that some stuff came up for you, for those who are here, and just put it in your journal. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rhonda. Thank you.
Jill, you always do so beautiful things, so much beautiful things when you come in here. So I appreciate you so much. Noreen, I know we're transitioning into your space. Anything I saw that you're saying thank you to Jill, like anything you want to add. And I know that first ding, I was like, just woke me up.
Yes, so Jill, you guided us so beautifully into accessing our heart, because even when we're in the world as leaders and business people, the heart is really the place that we start. It's the place that everything that we do and create emanates from. So thank you for starting us off there. Because when we're trying to start from the outside in, it doesn't work for us.
Yeah.
So it was a beautiful experience. Thank you.
Yeah, and the Fresh Inspiration Show, okay, seeing this reoccurring star come in, isn't this cool? I think Jill gave us more of like the juice of what she does with the people when she's doing her retreats and she's doing her gatherings. She does circles for her community. Make sure right here on social media you're finding Jill Flowers. Connect with her. You're going to learn some fabulous things. I truly enjoyed you, Jill. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate you, my friend. Namaste.
Namaste.
Noreen, I appreciate you being here so much. Our connection and how we used to be together in another community. And I don't think we really ever got to talk until just recently. Didn't even realize we were in the same community a few years ago. And when I got to see the things you're doing with your community, the people that you help, the executive leaders out there, the people that are part of just like what we're doing. I call it hashtag speaker locking arms because I directly work with speakers. You're out there with people with their business and helping with their mindset and their flow. So today I call it riffing, like just like this flow. I wanted to know more about what you've been seeing out there as you're helping people take that step and get more raw and exposure for them to really open up and receive and listen to what's happening out there in the world. What have you been noticing over the past couple of years as you've been out there doing your work, my friend?
Well, there are several things. Some of the more prominent things, because I work primarily with women, after having been in the corporate world around men pretty much my entire adult life, I saw a need for women who really sought to fully express themselves in the context of their business or as leaders in organizations. And there's a lot of stuff getting in the way. And it's even more emphasized or amplified just because of the isolation we've all experienced in the last couple of years. And what happens in isolation is that our inner critic goes wild, our disconnection with our vision about why what we're doing is so important to us starts taking hold. And all these things just create chasms for us in terms of our vision of what we want to create and our ability to move forward and actually create it. So those are the primary things that I'm seeing, just a lot of women getting stuck because of these issues, and also the lack of the isolation, just not really leveraging the power of association like we're doing here, right? Being able to support each other. And thank you very much for inviting me today. And for women to be able to hear and actually connect more deeply with other people that they can align themselves with to create more momentum in their not only in their business, but in their life. So I hope that answered your question. Yeah, I'm not hearing you, Rhonda.
Well, you know, I'm just speaking. Hopefully, you just feel it. You know, you just know what I'm saying. I really appreciate what you are talking about, Noreen. And you know, through isolation, I don't know how you personally been feeling, and but I know that there's been some really big things of me stepping into hearing myself more, and sometimes even going even crazier in my four walls because of watching my kids go through their journey through high school. Is my son's last year of school, and this year, and he got to enjoy being at school. But the years before that, year and a half, he was in isolation, and just watching the teenagers and being a parent of that, and getting out there and stepping out there in the world and being able to clear some extra stressors that came in. But I found those challenges to also help me grow. So what did you find that would be something where you were starting to notice once you started getting the people that you were working with into that space that they said, yeah, I got this? Did you see that they were bouncing even bigger and really getting more closely connected with their passion, what they were doing? Or share with me, my friend.
Yeah, so absolutely, it gave people space and time, although I believe time is an illusion. It gave people space to really explore what mattered most to them, what was most important for them to be doing in the world. And the people who actually have thrived are people who recognized the importance of staying connected with other human beings. Without just obviously physically we had severe limitation with that, but people were creative and bringing people together on Zoom and creating different experiences and being able to pivot to do things that they were able to do even with the physical obstacles. And those are the people that thrive, that stayed connected with their purpose, with their vision, and with other human beings. So, you know, I'm somebody who, you know, people are my jam. You know, the first thing I want to do is connect with somebody in the morning. Like, you know, I do my own morning ritual, like you shared at the beginning. But my inclination early in the morning is to text people, to pick up the phone, connect, right? That's what brings me joy and peace in my world. It's not sitting behind a computer and starting to go through the 1,000 things that I get to do every day. So, so I did a lot of that. I did a lot of that during COVID, and my guess is that you probably did too, in the short conversations we've had recently. And actually, since you mentioned your son who's graduating, congratulations. My son ended up moving back home with us as well during COVID. He was in New York at the peak of just panic and problems up there. And he ended up coming back to home temporarily. And he immediately got connected with things to keep him occupied that were important to him, focusing on his music, re-enrolling in some classes that he was interested in taking, continuing his Japanese studies, and connecting with people all the time. And so that streak runs in the family, and I think it really saved us during COVID.
Yeah, I was noticing, Noreen, it sounds like the family was finding the dynamics that really worked and supported each other. Because that's what I was noticing. I noticed that my husband and I got closer, and we brought the family in closer, and just holding space.
Mhm.
breathing and holding space, because we knew as soon as we opened that door, we could feel this this vibration that was, in some ways I felt like, Noreen, I don't know if you noticed this, but I was noticing that I could feel the aggravation if the TV went on and you could start hearing about all these things that weren't working. And I love understanding, keeping up on that, because that's what helps us as leaders, to be able to know what we're dealing with. But I was also, when I step out, I was starting to notice the sky, how clear it was getting, because not everybody was out and driving. And that, to me, as a person that is in my passion and working and connecting, like what you said, you love working with people. Um, what were you noticing about that? Anything for yourself, like just what was happening out in the world and how it personally affected you and the people that you were working with? Anything in there for you about
Oh
that?
yeah, absolutely. I mean, as we talked about, it provided time and space for reflection and to actually be present in the moment. So although we felt that there was something really severely going on that we had no control over, there's still, as leaders, we have a huge capacity to do so much in our world, even with the limitation that existed. So being present in the moment, experiencing, I live in the middle of a huge city, and we have cardinals and bluebirds and, and we even have red-tailed hawks and things that have visited us. And when you have the space, you're actually paying attention to things that are going on that are so easy to ignore in the hustle and bustle of the world. So definitely during the pandemic, I heard that from a lot of clients as well, that just savoring the present moment was so important, because honestly, that's all we have. We can't go back and we don't know about tomorrow, but what we have is now, and bringing our vision into now and actually taking the steps in the present moment towards something that matters to us is what really supported a lot of people to grow and build momentum during a time when there was so much that people felt were out of their control.
I love your insight, Noreen. Can we transition into me being able to hold the stage more, and you being able to share who are the people that you're working with right now? What are the what are the things that you are growing this year that you're finding that you are seeking? Because as we're in the Fresh Inspiration Show, I call it hashtag seekers, hashtag inspirers. And I'm noticing a lot of our people that are part of this community are people that are leaders, or they're growing their leadership and they want to know more. So I find this to be a strong question to ask. It feels right. But what are you up to this year? What are you doing?
So I'm doing two primary things. One is I work with private clients and groups to really create their dynamic leaderships, build their businesses so that they're thriving, and create financial freedom. For women, this is really an important thing. But we use a lot of what I call feminine success codes, the things we're talking about here: accessing your heart, really being able to create your vision and bring your vision into the present, so that we combine the passionate with the practical to build businesses or to build positioning within organizations, so that women are really in roles and creating the professional life that they really want. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is, in the groups, we're building community. I mean, the power of association has always been incredible, but it's even more important as we go forward into the future. There's a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of competition, and the days of trying to figure out everything by ourselves is really over. It's not that you can't, you absolutely can, but it's slower, it's less fulfilling. And so building community where women really can personally gain in terms of their own steps and momentum that they choose to create, but also be supported and lifted up by the community and other women is a really primary focus of mine going forward.
I love that. Where can people find you, my friend? Cheers, by the way. I have some awesome water
Thank
here
you.
today. How can people find you? Because I have tagged you so they're able to connect with you that way. Is there anything else you'd like to share with them, or anything that we can get connected with you?
Well, so what I would say to your audience is each and every one of you are truly brilliant, and that's not hyperbole. There's, you know, what Jill led us through in terms of accessing our heart, there's only one of you. And there may be 1,000 people that do the same thing as you, but there's only one of you that does it your way. And leading your way is an incredible way to move forward, to be bold, to speak your voice, and to get your genius out in the world, because God knows this world needs it. Where people can find me is my website is noreenhoward.com. And I also have, if they want to go to a page called curatingwealth.com, curatingwealth.com. That's a way that they can actually get a handout about wealth. That this one is particularly with financial wealth, but we talk about wealth in our groups in all aspects of our lives, and that's a way that they can hear more from me if you're interested in hearing more things as we go forward.
Beautiful, my friend. I so appreciate you being here and you know, answering those questions about stuff that you answered them very well, my friend. Being able to feel about like what wealth really means, you know, when you're talking about the overall vision of what wealth is. We need to talk about that more.
Yes.
I think so, Noreen. It's like, because I think sometimes that people start judging what certain words are and like what they're accepting and things like that. And I feel like, man, we need to rewrite some of the Webster dictionary stuff that where we just like start exiting out of conversation because we think that word is bad. You know, putting our own
Right.
definition.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm into writing I think my next book needs to be writing every word that I feel like that used to have like a negative masculine sense, because I love masculine feminine and playing with that, and like saying, hey, what does failure mean to you, and like making it like feel like positive, you know?
Yeah, because we learn from each other. And you know, I don't profess to be a guru. That's not why I'm here. I'm a facilitator. I'm you know, a lot of skill, a lot of knowledge, but it's really about hearing from you. Like you said at the beginning, which was beautiful. It's not about us. It's really about supporting each other. And that's what each person gets to do in a way that's truly right for them. So anyway, thank you, Rhonda. I appreciate the time with you and your audience.
One last question for you. When I'm talking about like leading with the heart and this being like a heart kind of a show, because we speak so much about the heart, we're going to be doing that today. What does that feel like for you when you start going into your heart and just feeling it? Like, is there any way that you explain that or for yourself, or like how important it is for you? Because you brought it up about the heart, but anything
Yeah.
else you want to add as you're exiting?
So when I think about accessing my heart, it's about becoming true to myself. I'm very much in the work I do about combining the heart with practical measures. I don't believe things just, at least not in my life, things don't just drop in our laps. You know, we have an intention and we move toward the intention, and that's how we get the results we want. But accessing our heart is actually acknowledging who we are, what matters to us, so that what we are doing, who we are being, is the type of person we choose to be, authentic, courageous, passionate, inspiring, whatever your words are that are really meaningful to you, and that we take action that aligns with that. So that's what I meant about the heart being at the core. That's how we want to move. We want to align with who we are, not who somebody else is telling us to be or what we think we should be. So I hope that's clear. And
It's powerful. It really is. And you never
and it is powerful. It
It's
is powerful.
because the heart is wise. Like things move faster. I feel like that's where we bend time.
Yeah.
That's where we quantum leap. That's because our brain doesn't get in the way, but our brain gets to partner and bring in all those years experience. But the heart just says, hey, go for it.
Yeah. The heart is our light, really. It's our light.
Yeah.
Right. So
Thank you,
what
my
lights
friend.
us up there is what we're going to be best at in the world.
With that, I appreciate your time with us. You did fabulous, my friend. And if you hang out,
Thank you,
enjoy.
Rhonda.
I would love for you to be here, but this is fabulous, and I appreciate your time.
All right. Thank you, Rhonda.
Thank you. Love you, my friend.
Be well. Love you too.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this is our first hour. We're exiting out of our 1 hour together of doing our opening ceremony. Okay, I think we nailed it. I think we got some good stories in there. We got the Jill Flowers, who was using her vocals, her bowls, and I could feel that. And she was focused in for us on what's going to serve us. How do you feel? How do you feel about like saying hello? And so and Noreen spoke about the noise out there and the competition, but she didn't focus in on that because that is such a limiting space when you get, kind of like in that spot, but that is such truth. So how do we deal with that? How do we deal with that? I mean, do we really go and chase all the numbers to get us moving forward and feel like we need to like look at every stat and have this team to be able to elevate everything, and we want thousands of this and hundreds of that? But what if I said that there's such a thing, which I 100%, this is how I coach too, is I'm bringing in Lorenzo Payman. I know in my heart that when there's a video out there that I do, when there is a post I put, when there is someone I'm calling to connect, all of that is truth in business. It's not I'm going to call this old school, by the way, because a lot of us are still doing this kind of stuff where you're chasing those numbers and knowing how long you should be on a live video, knowing how long your video should be, and you're following rules. But as I bring Lorenzo in, I'm going to partner with him in what his vision is about what he's going to be speaking today, which is easy organic reach with the heart. Hello, self. And the hello, self is, let's talk about that. Getting to know you. Just what we did in the opening ceremony, did you start noticing that you are starting to get to know you? That everything that you are feeling in flow, that's you, that you're answering that question right there. There doesn't have to be words that say, this is my name and this defines who I am. But every feeling and every word that comes to you is about that. You, getting to know you.